Oh, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Outside the Shop with me, your host, Daryl D-Lane, where I get to talk about everything that I normally don't get the chance to talk about on regular sports podcast, Barbershop Sports Talk, which you guys can all find on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Pandora, the whole 9 yards there. Top 40 quarterbacks, the NFL, number 33 and 34 today. And now we're going to start with QB 34, Geno Smith. He's what I call an A-level backup. He always stays ready, so he never needs to get ready. And that's a saying in sports I love. And here's the reason why I love, particularly for a backup QB. The backup QB, as everybody knows, it is your job to get the starter ready, right? And with that, sometimes you can be cold. You're not always getting the first team reps. You're not always getting the attention from the coaches, the OC, the quarterback coach in practice, right? And when your whole world is revolving around getting somebody else better, I take notice of when your number's called, right? And you're always ready. That's the saying, right? Stay ready so you never have to get ready. And that's what Geno Smith did, particularly on Thursday Night Football. He was 10 of 17, 131 yards against the Los Angeles Rams when he made his starting debut. Then he hasn't started in playing debut, excuse me, because he didn't start the game. Russell Wilson started it when Russell got hurt. And Geno came in, like I said, 10 of 17. He played pretty well. And Geno, through the middle of the season when he was in there for the Seahawks, Geno looked pretty solid. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of things I like about Geno. He has a good, not great arm. Good touch on a lot of his throws. Nice touch, nice feel for the position. Good touch on his balls, particularly when he's throwing down the field. Naturally smooth thrower, solid spiral, tight release. Also showed the ability to go through his reads fairly well, gets the ball out of his hands, able to throw, particularly to the running back on screens and stride for yak yards after the catch. It's something that he does on a consistent basis that none of the QBs I've mentioned before, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, any of those guys, Marcus Mariota, something that he does is he has a sidearm ability and the ability to throw from different angles when his throwing motion is compromised. And he does that better than a lot of the guys that I have mentioned up to this point. Good understanding of what the offense is trying to do, never gets too much beyond what his own abilities are. He knows his limitations. He understands matchup football. I have DK Metcalf. I need to attack DK Metcalf on those one-on-ones. Understands what he's supposed to do, take the check down, doesn't do too much, stays in his comfort zone. Some of the concerns I do have with him is he has a slender frame. That concerns me if he's having a full season starting 17 games. If he wins the quarterback competition versus Drew Lock, could get hurt. Slender frame, not a strong, big, thick body at the position. Also, like I said, good arm, not great arm. And I think if he has to throw a lot, then I think there could be a little deterioration. I think part of it why he looks so good, and which is why he's only at 33, is small doses. Less is more. But in terms of a backup QB, not many guys I'd rather have instead of Geno Smith. So now we get to our next quarterback, QB 33, Jared Goff. Some of you guys might think it's crazy to have Jared Goff this low, but I'm going to be honest. Jared Goff is not as good as you think he is. First, let's start with this. He gets the primary edge of Geno, and I don't even think when you watch him play, he's actually better than Geno. The major reason I put Jared Goff ahead of a Geno Smith is he has 40 games that he has started in the NFL. That's a lot of experience and a lot of reps you just can't replicate. On a throw-per-throw basis, though, he's not better than Geno. First off, Goff throws way too many wobblers, particularly for being a dome quarterback. Detroit plays in a dome situation. His arm isn't very strong. It's pretty mediocre, to be perfectly honest with you. He struggles mightily when he has to throw, when he's under pressure. He throws bad picks. He has a lot of overthrows. Doesn't have very good anticipation in the pass game. Bad pocket awareness. It's not very good at all. I'll say this on the bright side for Goff. He's a functional athlete for the position. He's not a complete dud. He can run bootlegs. He can move his feet a little bit, but nothing crazy in terms of scrambling or QB runs, obviously. His willingness to never push the envelope is a major concern, and that gets into the starting definition with Jared Goff. 13 of 17, 86 yards. You could be down by 20 points, and he'll still be check down Charlie. I'm going to take the check down to the running back. Take the check down to the running back. And it's like, Jared, we're down 20 points. We need you to push the envelope. We need you to make a play. That's partly why Sean McVay got rid of Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's willing to continue to push the ball down the field. Jared Goff is not, and that is a big concern, and that's a big issue I have with Jared Goff. Not much value, like I said, in terms of athleticism he brings to the game, though he is a solid functional athlete for the position. He's a QB that's completely dependent on how good the team is. If you have a really good team, maybe you can make something work with him. Clearly, Sean McVay did when Sean McVay was in when Jared Goff was with Sean McVay in LA. I'll say this: he's pretty good accuracy-wise. Anything under 10 feet, which isn't that special. That gets down to the whole check down Charlie thing I was saying. But anything under 10 feet, he's pretty solid there, but not great there. Right. So that's also something I don't particularly like about Jared Goff. And at age 27, I really only think he can go down. I don't think there's an ascension for him. This is also part of the projection. If we're talking about just what he did last year in terms of the tape and what you see from him, maybe you could move him 3-4 spots higher. But I think the projection for Jared Goff is going to go down. Not a great QB, doesn't do anything special. He's just a guy who's there. And that is QBs number 34 and number 33, Geno Smith and Jared Goff. Have a great day, everybody, and God bless.